What's going on? Welcome back to Trading Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go down 1.69%. So as soon as the market opened, it had a crazy sell-off, low of $9.62. Recovered fairly well in the second part of the day, but still this was somewhat unnecessary. I'm going to talk on what really prompted that though, but 50.1 million shares were traded today. 45.5 is the average. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. 2 mil, 1 mil, 9 mil, so a lot of big transactions. Regrettably, a lot of those are sells. Even right here, as soon as the market did open up to around 8:34 in the morning, you had a lot of string selling for whatever reason. So that's kind of what prompted this sell-off right here. And essentially a lot of that was because of good data, as messed up as that is. So retail sales and initial jobless claims both came in better than anticipated. So more validation that the economy is strengthening. Same goes for consumers. And so what happens when you have a good economy? Essentially, you don't need rate cuts. So that's exactly what prompted that sell-off, is the likelihood of a 25 basis point cut diminishing from 95 to now 65.3. Market cares so much about monetary policy is kind of crazy if you think about it, because a lot of companies are kicking ass on their earnings. And a lot of data points show that the economy is doing very, very well. So you don't really need all that much. Like I kind of complained in the past, just market cares so much about rate cuts is absolutely crazy. But beside the point, that's kind of what prompted that sell-off. And then the market started to somewhat realize that it was unjustified. But today there was no news associated to SoFi, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So it was kind of just piggybacking off of the broader market. The only thing that really came out that I wanted to talk on was Robinhood. So Robinhood did have a pretty big event. So I think in reality, SoFi going forward, maybe something that they can work on in 2025 is have a investors day and have a similar type of kind of event where they showcase new technology, not just kind of these string of PRs like this. I think it would be much better to do it in that type of event. So I think that was very well done by Robinhood, and plus they've been actually doing a fairly good job, generally speaking, over the last like 6+ months. And on a side note, especially with the elections coming right around the corner, it was interesting to see Tanner's post. So he did attend that Robinhood summit, and I guess he was talking with this Vincent Daniel individual, and he kind of talked on how if Trump wins, bank stocks will go up. Reverse will happen if Harris happens. I know I don't like to get political under this channel or just talk on that, but very interesting dynamic. Do you guys think that is going to occur? So if Trump wins, bank stocks, financials are going to go to the moon, essentially, or inverse will happen if Harris wins. So what's your guys' thoughts on that? Today, shorts did take advantage of the selling. So they returned 1.23 million shares. 16.33% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 170.84 million shares. Cost of borrow average is 0.67, and then utilization is 35.76. When it comes to just shorts returning, I think they're taking a breath, if that kind of makes sense, because they had a very big financial interest in bringing SoFi below $10. So I'm going to talk on options in a second, but as far as the options, I guess, being done today, there was 14 mil in calls, 6.05 million in puts. 60% of all the options being done today were bearish, and most of it actually came from this. So between 9 and 9:05 this morning, there was 3.8 million in premiums. So if we kind of look at that essentially and kind of organize it based on premium, you see that there was two very large ones, 1.59 and 1.17, clearly not retail, that's institutions. Multi-leg transactions, both bearish. Looks like there was a call that was sold for November the 1st expiry date, so basically 15 days out. So once again, given the price, very bearish. And then you also had a $9 put that was purchased, 29 days expiring in, I guess, November the 15th. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how, just to kind of analyze this behind the scenes, But yeah, generally there was a lot of bearish options being done today. But aside from that though, of the call options that were purchased, do you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $10 range, $10.50, and then for the November 1st, roughly as high as around $11. And so that would be incorporating their earnings. And then looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be around that $9.50. Then this is where you see these kind of random pockets right here of a lot of bearish options being done. But like I said already, just shorts had a financial interest as well as market makers to really bring SoFi down sub $10, because this is the current open interest. So 24,000 at the 8, 12,000 at the 850, 24,000 at the 9, 11,000 at 950, 31,000 at that 10. Huge amount of options. Of course, this is a monthly chain, so that's why, but 23,000 at the 1050. So given the circumstances with 31,000 at that 10, like I said, there's a financial interest in them bringing it below that. So just watch for SoFi to kind of hopefully get above 10. We've seen some pretty successful wins from SoFi in the past, but at the same time, we've also seen a lot of manipulation for it to close at like $9.99, 1 cent below the strike price, just to kind of have a lot of this expire. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on that. Right now with it closing at $9.87, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So 9.83 going to be a strong support, as well as below that 9.67. So it kind of bounced off that general area, and then 9.93 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. So it was trading between this S3 and the pivot today. So a lot of volatility. So just continue to anticipate that in the foreseeable future. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that. Quickly moving over to IBKR. No new analyst ratings today, no manipulation, but with that second half of the day, the recovery, it did really save the technicals because it was starting to really break down. So I have the ALMA super trend. Actually, I'll move that so you guys can see it. So super trend, 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. So generally still have it above the 50-day moving average. So that's overall fairly good. Stochastic RSI, nice bullish deviation starting to form. So it was very oversold. So you could see a rush of value investors maybe once they see more upside, I guess, with SoFi after it's consolidated a little bit, but MACD is a little bit bearish. So somewhat mixed on the technicals. So then again, SoFi's ran up quite a lot. So there's always going to be profit taking and whatever at that stage. So let me know you guys' thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And give yourself a shout out if you've been buying, if you've been selling. What have you guys been doing with SoFi? And plus, have you guys been doing options a little bit higher in volume than the norm, but still something to just keep in mind. And one final thing, I did launch memberships with this channel. So if you like my SoFi content, want to support the channel, you can definitely do so. Or if you have more of a hinkling for, I guess, just buy signals for options and stocks, I have also a tier for that as well. So definitely take a look at that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.